So, going high is not enough. Let's get this straight. In principle, it's never okay to hit anyone, Nazi or otherwise.
As soon as someone says that, you can be reasonably confident that they're about to abandon that principle within the next breath.
But when Richard Spencer was punched while giving an interview in the street, it was a cathartic moment for many.
See?
A lot of us find ourselves at a loss for how to respond as frightening and dangerous views are suddenly not only being aired, but mainstreamed.
Then maybe some of you need to harden the fuck up and come to terms with the fact that not everyone agrees with you.
Unable to adjust, we continued to engage with these views like they were just a new school of controversy. The world had changed, but we hadn't caught up. That punch, it caught us up.
It caught you up, did it? I hate to be the one to break this to you, but using force to impose your political opinions on others or to silence those you disagree with is going backwards.
When they go low, we go high,
said Michelle Obama, amid the rising ugliness of Trump's campaign. Well, going high doesn't always work. Some positions simply cannot be entertained, let alone argued against.
Oh, well, they simply can't be entertained or argued against. That clears things up. Your inability to formulate a compelling argument against those you should be arguing against does not give you license to then enact violence on them.
There is this fallacy on the left around reasoned debate.
Fucking really? The fallacy of reasoned debate.
Don't assault and boycott racists and misogynists. Debate with them. Don't go low, go high. Be better.
Excuse you, but assault and boycott are two very different things, and that you think they're comparable makes me think you're a dishonest cunt. One of them doesn't include attacking someone. If you were merely boycotting neo-Nazism, I wouldn't feel compelled to make this video, but that's not what you're doing.
But why? Why should we be better? Just for the sake of being better, or because being better produces results?
If one of your desired results isn't to be better than your competition, then why ought we strive to attain them? Fuck your results.
This philosophical Achilles heel is paralyzing liberal democracy. Would I encourage people to go around punching Nazis?
It's a bit late to say you don't encourage that.
No, but I will also not condemn them for doing so.
Do you think there's an effective difference between vocally saying you won't condemn them and encouraging them? Because the difference is rather pedantic at that point.
The punch was a calling out after a time when too many things were not called out for what they really are.
Ironically enough, now is one of those times as well, because lots of people aren't calling that punch what it was, which was illegally silencing someone with different political positions than you.
Going high might make us feel good about being the better party, but it is not a suitable response, and it doesn't work.
Reasoned debate doesn't get results. Hitting people gets results. What are your desired results? Is it to sway the public against neo-Nazism? Because that's what I'd expect it to be. Do you know how you go about not doing that? You go about not doing that by making neo-Nazis sympathetic. How weak do your political positions come off if you can't even reasonably persuade the public against Nazis? Is Nazism too strong of a position for you to fairly compete against it? Because if it is, your position, whatever the fuck it is, isn't worth having. You will continue to push support away from you and encourage resistance against you. And even worse, encourage support for your opposition. This is what would naturally happen to Nazism if you didn't continue to make it a sympathetic position.
Particularly now, while we face a clear assault on hard-won freedoms and equalities. There is a narcissism of good behavior that needs to be jettisoned.
The narcissism of good behavior is going right up there with the fallacy of reasoned debate on the list of things sane people shouldn't say.
There is a complacency born out of a combination of shock, privilege, and inertia that makes some think that keeping the dignity of liberalism intact will somehow shame bigots into behaving.
That awkward moment when the bigots are more behaved than you are. What has Richard Spencer done? Yes, he holds and has expressed stupid, loathsome positions, but so have Muslims, so has the far left, so have communists, so have Black Lives Matter, so have trans activists. That doesn't mean any of those groups should have their voices violently suppressed. Or is political violence only okay when you do it?
The alternative to all this futile, false equivalency debate is simply to call everything out and protest it.
Violently protest. Don't forget important adjectives. They're key to your case.
Boycott it, march against it, and never